ladies and gentlemen, we got her. Down goes Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, I mean, at least one of her accounts, her personal account on Twitter. Yes, that account, not her representative account, but her personal account has been suspended on Twitter permanently. Now, I don't know why they're calling it a suspension. She was banned, booted, yeeted, whatever you want to call it. Her account was basically taken out behind the house like Old Yeller. Okay, that's essentially it. It's gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. All right, so now how come? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. This is the 5th time that she has posted disinformation, COVID disinformation on Twitter. During a pandemic, mind you. All right. Now, on Saturday, Greene tweeted the normal insane Twitter thread, criticizing public health measures imposed during the pandemic. Ah, yes. Those terrible things like, oh, maybe you should, get a vaccine or wear a mask in public and things like that. Well, here's the thing. Margie, nobody likes wearing masks or locking down. I mean, do you think this is how we want to spend our days? Do you think this is how we wanted to spend the last 2 years? I didn't. I didn't want to be concerned that my family and friends who were immunocompromised could get COVID or die. I didn't want to skip out on family gatherings to make sure to protect other people, just in case I came into contact with somebody who had COVID. No, but we did it. We did it because we're not selfish assholes like you. Again, right-wingers who refuse to get vaxxed and mask up, and by the way, and not just right-wingers, anybody, and government officials who, of course, refuse to lock down and offer people the money to survive, like, for example, $2,000 stimulus checks, that whole thing. Bosses not willing to allow telework if they were able to try to, in order to try to force people back into the office unnecessarily, because, oh, God forbid, somebody work from home and realize that the office is completely unnecessary. Now, the reason, of course, they want you back in the office is so they can keep an eye on you. Hey, how dare you eat cookies during work? Oh, how dare you? I didn't authorize a bathroom break. No, it's all about control in the workplace. They want to have control over your life and over every single thing that you do. Now, I think that if you do your job and you do your job well and you get your job done, what does it matter if you take a 5-minute break to rest your brain? As long as you get the job done, I don't care. And you shouldn't care. But no. Productivity. If you ain't, if you're standing, you're working, or you're not. If you're sitting, you're not working. Sorry. It's that old adage of you have to look busy for the boss, or else you're not working. Even if you're getting your stuff done, even if you're an incredibly productive individual, you have to continue to look busy. It's such a ridiculous work culture. Just so ridiculous. But again, those people, they're selfish dickheads, essentially. Now, they'd rather get you back to work in an unsafe environment that could infect you, leading to your loved ones being infected, maybe dying, or getting long COVID symptoms. They'd rather do all that than do what is actually the right thing to do, what is actually moral, which is prioritizing human lives over personal wealth. I know, look at that crazy, crazy communist over here talking about how human lives are more important than CEOs gathering more and more personal wealth. Oh my God. But see, here's the thing. That's the side that Marjorie Toilet Greene works for is not the people. Now she claims, oh, yeah, I'm working for the people. I'm working for freedom. That's what I want. No, she's working for the CEOs. She wants you to get your ass back to work for your shitty bosses without any sort of protection. That's it. Get back to work. Get back to work. CEOs got to make money. My donors got to make money. That's all it is. By the way, that's the side that the right works for, very, very obviously. Now, the Democrats, they're also on the side of get back to work. I mean, they're all on the side of get back to work. Now, of course, Democrats are like, well, yeah, get vaccinated and then go back to work. Do this, do that, and then you can get back to work. Okay, all right, that's a little bit better. I mean, obviously you should get vaccinated and you should do all that stuff. But at the same time, The Democrats are the ones that are telling kids, hey, Omicron surge. Record number of kids in the hospital with Omicron. You'll be fine. Go back to school. Go back to school, because if the kids are back in school, then you can go back to work. You get back to work. Get back to work. That's what it's all about. And by the way, Democrats are also, no, we can't cancel your student loans. Yes, we're going to kick the can down the road again after pressure. Well, if you can keep kicking the can down the road, then why not just cancel them? You have the power to continuously delay paying them. Well, I mean, who owns our student loans? The government does. They can cancel them. No, we won't. They're also on the side of, no, we can't guarantee universal health care. Whatever happened to at least the public option? Gone. Could have used their powers, during the pandemic or earlier in the pandemic to be able to do that and still probably be able to do it today. No, we won't pay people to stay home anymore. Not at all. No, get back to work. Get back to school. Our donors, understand that our donors that, flood both parties with money, they have said, we've had enough with this. We want our profits. That's it. Now, if you think about how the pandemic response has gone, now think about this. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to happen when catastrophic climate change. Oh, right. We're already seeing some of that. What happens when that gets worse? We're going to see the same old response here from feckless politicians, both, and now, feckless politicians on the left and cruel politicians on the right. And that's the situation that we have going on today. Basically, I don't know, let them die, for the stock market. The almighty stonks. And so that's the side that Marjorie Trash Can Greene is on. And anyone else who's telling you that COVID's not a big deal, oh, it's fine, who cares? Just go out, buy more, consume, go shopping. We'll just shop our way out of it, guys. It's fine. No, here's the thing. Hospitals are overloaded with COVID patients. Yes, I understand that the majority of them are unvaccinated. And they have made a choice as a result of, shitty right-wing politicians telling them, oh, and Joe Rogan saying, oh, you shouldn't get vaccinated. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. No, they're clogging up the hospitals. Partly, again, thanks to Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Donald Trump beforehand, before he made his U-turn. Candace Owens, who's selling shit that turns you blue. All this stuff. So now the problem, of course, the big problem with the hospitals is that when you have the hospitals that are clogged up with COVID patients, if you need other emergency services, you're shit out of luck. That's it, you're done. You're done. There's just no room in a lot of different places. It's a disaster, an absolute disaster, driven by some of the worst people in the world that have made this pandemic political. So now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, she had to put out a statement. And it's absolutely laughable what she said. And you could tell, like the molding that's going on here, the rage. She said that Twitter is an, quote, enemy to America. And they can't handle the truth. Oh, you can't handle the truth. You can't. What truth? Are you saying anything that's true? No, not at all. But then adds, that's fine. I'll show America we don't need them. And it's time to defeat our enemies. Social media platforms can't stop the truth from being spread far and wide. Big tech can't stop the truth. Communist Democrats can't stop the truth. Communist. What this has to do with communism? Of course, we're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Anything that she doesn't like is automatically considered to be communism. But wow, let me explain something to Marjorie. What, Tomato Green? I don't know. I'm coming up with weirdo nicknames for her, if you didn't notice. But Margie, Twitter's a private corporation. All these social media companies are. You know what they're in it for, right? They're in it for the monies. That's it. That's literally The entire purpose of a corporation is to make money. Money. That's it. Now, the thing is, corporations are not evil. Corporations have no morality. And how long have I been saying this on this show? Over and over again. Corporations have no morality. They're not people. They're not human beings. They don't have moral decisions. Okay? Now, what they are is fictional legal entities whose only concern is, making their shareholders money. That's it. They have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize profit. And so, ironically, both Marjorie Taylor Greene and corporations like Twitter agree that they don't care about human lives. They just don't. One is incapable, and the other was not designed to do so. You can decide which one applies to who, all right? But anyway, look, understand Twitter's position here. Twitter's position is that, hey, look, if we let this rampant stuff spread, these lies that discourages people from getting vaccinated, well, then we're going to have to deal with the fallout from the pandemic. Now, that fallout is mainly economic for them. And so, and of course, maybe some of their workers can't come into the office anymore because they got to quarantine, they got to isolate. And so, some of their advertisers, of course, not making as much money because people, aren't able to come in and do their work. Again, there's all these far-reaching complications from a major pandemic, a virus that is going around that's just generally bad for business. And so, Twitter's like, well, we got to put a stop to that, obviously. Not only that, but we also have Congress breathing down our necks. And so they're going to ask us why we're continuing to spread disinformation or allowing people to spread disinformation on our platform, even though they can't really legally do anything about it. But it looks really badly. It looks really badly. And by the way, it's not that they're not trying to do something about it, the government. A lot of Republicans are now talking about Section 230, which basically would hold companies liable if you get rid of Section 230 for the content the users post. Ironically, that would also purge a lot of the right wing, because then no company would ever host anything a right winger has to say ever again. And they think, oh, no, if we just get rid of Section 230, that'll make the internet better. Do they understand anything? No, they don't understand anything at all. Even their solutions. They're like, yeah, if we just get rid of Section 230 and hold companies accountable for the things that their users post, that will somehow not lead to all of us being banned. Right. Okay. Sure. But here's the thing, as I said, if Twitter allows this to happen, that's going to be a PR hit, right? Aside from the Section 230 stuff, and that's going to cost some money, it's going to cost some advertisers, et cetera, et cetera. And so ironically, social media companies like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all them are basically being forced to do the right thing for money. While Marjorie Trump Fluffer Greene is pushing the absolute wrong thing for money. And so understand that when you have this impasse, and that's what it is, it's an impasse, neither side is going to change because they're both getting money. They're both getting, Marjorie Taylor Greene getting campaign donations from crazy, insane anti-vaxxers. And of course, Twitter from advertisers, et cetera, et cetera. Look, nobody's going to change because guess what? Both have money on the line and they don't want to lose it. Now that said, did the facts lie with Twitter in this case? Yes. Twitter is correct in saying, okay, we've given you a lot of chances. You've decided to continue fucking around and pushing it. So I guess at the end of the day, we are left with a situation where we're going to have to ban your ass. All right. And again, corporations, this is not a free speech issue, by the way. Corporations they have the ability to ban who they want from their platform. You do not have a right to Twitter. You do not have a right to Facebook. You do not have a right to post on YouTube. I know it's a weird thing because so much of the social media really dominates the landscape. And by the way, I'm open to having a discussion about seeing about, okay, well, why don't we have something that ensures that we do all have First Amendment free speech rights online, which of course would be governed by certain rules. You know, you can't threaten people's lives, violence, etc. The same things that really apply to the First Amendment to begin with, and that you can't be removed from in a way. But you know, we can have a discussion on that because I do care about free speech. At the same time, I think it's okay to deplatform some of these idiots, honestly, because what they're doing is ultimately harmful to the discourse. Now, the one thing, of course, that pushes back against that point is the Streisand effect. And we've all heard about that, where basically you try to, you know, make it look like you're silencing something and just giving it more attention. And so that's another, I guess, side effect or negative effect of being able to police some of this online discourse. And so, again, a real discussion that's made in good faith is something that I think we need to have at this point. But again, as far as Twitter is concerned, at this point in time, they can ban whoever the hell they want for whatever they want. And in this case, they're on the side of facts when it comes to COVID. And so I guess at the end of the day, Margie, suck it up and enjoy your ban.